Soman, Chainani, Soman. Hello there, kings, queens, and everything in between. My name is Nati, and welcome to my reading castle. If you are new here, hello and welcome. Happy to have you in the kingdom. If you are returning, hello and welcome back. So, it has been a few days since I updated my August TBR video, and I will link that down below if you want to go check it out. And so the reason for this video is something I mentioned in the previous video. I was waiting for a really exciting book that I'm going to talk a little more about and give you guys an update on what I've been reading, so on and so forth. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, the first thing I want to do is open my book mail. I'm so excited. This came in a few days ago. I'm not gonna lie, I think when I went to my P.O. box to pick it up, it had been there for maybe 3 days. I'm a busy gal, don't at me. But I finally have it and I'm so excited. So let's get to opening. So what I'm gonna do is, while I open it, I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit about this. So this book, I mentioned it in the previous video, into my TBR, August TBR video, and I mentioned that this is a book that I did not know existed until a few weeks ago, and because I discovered this book through the trailer for the upcoming movie, and it looked so cute. I said in my last video that it is a contemporary romance, and I said that I wasn't gonna lie, this is my genre, this is my jam. This is by no means a new book. This book was published in 2017, and it is now going to be transformed into a movie, and so that did not open anything. Oh God. Can you tell I'm kind of new at book mail? So that's what I ordered. And I believe this is secondhand. I believe this book has been read before, like by someone else. Books that come into my arms come into a loving home. So I really don't mind giving books a little extra love. And side note, I bought this book, and I believe with shipping and everything, I found it on Amazon, I believe, and it was about $8. Lo and behold, like a week after I ordered it, I saw that a book outlet is selling it for $3. But we're not talking about that. Anyway, I am getting into, but oh, are you guys seeing that? Are you guys seeing the same thing I'm seeing? This is exciting. Oh, that's so cute. Okay, okay, side note. When I buy books that are becoming movie adaptations, I don't tend to buy the covers of the book that are the cover of the movie, simply because I like imagining the characters in my own way, so that way when I go see the movie, I have, even if they, so that way when I go see the movie, I have my own image of the characters, even if it doesn't look the same as the actors, because I like to give my mind the space to create a face that goes along with the personalities that I'm reading. With that being said, this is her. Ta-da! Ah! This is Words on Bathroom Walls by Julia Walton. To be fair, and no, don't be like, well, you ordered it, you should know. To be fair, when I ordered this online, it promoted the original cover, which I'm gonna try to put a picture up in here. Actually, I put up the cover in my previous video if you want to go and check that out, where the cover, so the cover of the original book doesn't have any particular illustrations. It kind of has words that look as if they were scribbled on a wall. So this is quite different, but it's okay. It's still lovely. I'm excited to read it. I feel like I have to, if you'll excuse me for a second. I love that new book smell. Knowing myself, if I like it as much as I think I will, I'm probably gonna buy the original cover at some point because I am that stubborn, but I think it looks fun. When I bought this, I believe, I don't remember if it was Amazon or another site when I was searching for the book. It allowed me to read, I believe, the first chapter electronically on the page, and I really, really liked it. I automatically felt like I was talking to our main character, and I don't remember his name at the moment. I'm sorry, but that's not the point. I found it so funny and so interesting right off the bat, so I am really, really planning on loving this book. It looks adorable. Even though it's the movie cover, it looks so stinking cute. I am just so excited to dive into this. If you can't trust your mind, trust your heart. Yes, I know, I'm such a cliche. Stop it. Don't judge me. Everyone has their thing. This is mine. This type of book really reminds me of Nicola Yoon books, and that's mainly why I knew that I had to buy it, and that's why I'm leaning on I'm really gonna like it. So hopefully I'm not wrong. We shall see at the end of the month when I do my wrap-up video. So I did mention that I wanted to do an update with what I have been reading so far in August. So I know that I gave like a full-on reading list for my past video, and yes, those are still on my TBR. However, more might have been added by accident because my boyfriend took me to Seven Enchants, which I have never heard of before. Essentially a bookstore, and I found some really beautiful books, and I could not leave them behind. Here are some of the accidental but lovely additions to my TBR. So the first one I read, and this was, I'm pretty sure I read this in like a day, The Many Worlds of Albie Bright by Christopher Edge. So this book falls into the books that I had never heard of. Maybe some of you have. Let me know in the comments below if you have and if you've read this. I had not heard of this, and myself freshly coming off of Rick and Morty, I still had like that space continuum alternate universe hole in my heart, and then I found Albie Bright. This story is so cute. Essentially it revolves around young Albert Stephen Bright. Yes, Albert Einstein Stephen Hawking. Yes. And his nickname is Albie. In this book, his mom has just died, and both his parents being scientists, he decides to dwell with quantum physics and figure out how to travel between parallel universes, because if infinite parallel universes exist, then he figured there must be one of those where my mom is alive. So through this book, we go on an adventure with Albie on how quantum physics works in a very light way. They explain it in a very lighthearted way, in a very concise way, if you will. I believe this book is middle grade, but it is so cute, and it talks about a lot of really important topics, among them what the stages of grieving are, the importance of how you react to the surroundings, how you react to your environment, the importance of a parental figure in your life, and so many beautiful areas. This book is adorable. It's also fairly short. The book itself is 162 pages, so it is so cute. It was a quick read because you are automatically enthralled in the story. It was just adorable, and I can definitely see myself going back to this and highlighting the phrases and the ideas that I really liked, because it is adorable. And this book cost me, I believe, like $5. It was such a good buy. This was, to me, a diamond in the rough. I absolutely loved it. And hopefully at some point when I have children, I can pass on this book to them. I don't know if this exact same copy, but this is definitely a book that I would recommend and I would want to share with everyone. It is adorable and pretty funny. Albie is pretty sarcastic and witty, and that's always fun. So the next book I found also very cheap, and it is the first book to a series that I'm not dissing any hate, but I've heard everyone and their mother talk about, and that is The School of Good and Evil by Soman Chainani. I'm pretty sure I'm butchering the name. I apologize, but I've heard everyone talk about this book. Essentially what I know is that these two girls are best friends, and one of them is supposed to go to princess school to become like the best princess that ever existed, and the other little girl is supposed to go to a school of villains where she's supposed to become the best villainess that ever existed. However, I believe when their time comes to go away to school, they get sent to the opposite schools. But I believe that there is a legend or a prophecy that was not a mistake, that was meant to happen, and the girl who was supposed to be a princess is meant to be one of the greatest villains, and the girl who thought she was supposed to be a villain is supposed to be one of the greatest heroines or something like that. I think that sounds super amazing. I think it sounds so fun to see these characters first off deal with their confusion and their feelings of like, oh no, this is wrong, and slowly as they fall into step with the world they've been put in, I want to see them fall back on what they thought they knew and think, wait, maybe they were right. Am I good or am I evil? And what defines good and evil? Much like the character arc with Zuko, I'm just saying, I'm really excited to see how this develops. She is a little chunky, but that's okay. We love chunky books, especially with a good and interesting story. I'm so excited to dive into this, but I am such a sucker for lighthearted fantasies, so I'm also excited to grow with these characters because I'm pretty sure, as you can see, the girls are pretty young in the cover, so I'm excited to get to see them from what is probably middle school at this point and get to see their arc and how they grow and how they interact with each other until they get to probably like a senior point. Senior in high school, by the way, not like senior citizen, just to make that clear. I'm super stoked to dive in. Okay guys, and the last book that I'm going to talk to you guys about in this video is also the first book to a series that I had heard of and I had had my eye on for quite a while, but never started because I didn't have the time or I didn't want to buy all the series. But now we're in quarantine, so what better time to start multiple series? That book is Kingdom Keepers by Ridley Pearson. And before you say it, yes, I am aware that I am very, very late to the game, but I always wanted to read these books because I know that a long time ago, Disney had a kind of scavenger hunt throughout the park that was based off of these books, and I think that is the absolute coolest thing ever. And I believe they later on replaced that chase with a Perry the Platypus themed chase. I believe the Perry Platypus one was only in Epcot, but I still think it's really, really cool. So I hadn't picked these books up because, again, I was like, oh, I don't have time to start a series, but now I do. And essentially, I miss the Disney parks. And for those of you who don't know, so the Florida parks are opening up and Disney parks and Universal parks are opening up with certain safety procedures and wearing masks and doing temperature checks and all that. And I'm sure they're doing a wonderful job. But personally, I prefer to keep my distance and I'd like to stay at home until everything rolls over and until it is completely safe to go out, because I know that most parks are doing limited capacity and doing their best, and I applaud that. I really do. I hope things get better soon, but personally, I am trying to keep my distance. I'm trying to stay at home if I don't have to leave, because again, I'm trying to keep as safe as possible. That's just a personal preference. However, I did start this book. I am in chapter 13, which is about that much. I don't know to say that's about half of the book. The book itself is 324 pages. That's not very long, and I'm guessing I'm gonna finish this very soon. But I started it, and first off, I have to say I absolutely love the details of the parks, because for someone who goes to the parks, someone who knows the attractions and where they're located, and you know the Disney parks, in this case Magic Kingdom, because that's where we start. When you know the park like the back of your hand, it is so easy to imagine that you're walking through the park, and in your mind's eye you can see exactly what the characters are seeing, because you know the park. And it's also so thrilling to imagine walking through the parks at night when no one is there. Just imagine the park to yourself, but it gets better. Every character is alive. Immaculate concept. On top of that, we have these 5 children, which are the DHIs, which means the Disney Hosts Interactive, or Daylight Hologram Imagining. So essentially their job is to go to a facility and record themselves as interactive hosts that are holograms throughout the park that tell you about Disney history. However, Mr. Wayne, a longtime Disney Imagineer, tells them the actual plan for them, and they are meant to be essentially like the Disney Parks Guardians of the Galaxy, where they have to bond together and use their talents to protect Disney from greater evils. And I believe the series has, I want to say 5 to 8 books, but this is such a fun concept, and at least for me right now, it sounded like such a great thing, because I miss the park so much, and it sounds so cool that I can go on an adventure with these kids, and I can imagine that I'm a guardian of the Disney parks myself, and I can imagine every step throughout the park. I'm so excited to see how they deal with other parks and how different attractions come into the plans of the greater evil and how they defeat them. And I'm sure that we will eventually meet the characters from our favorite movies and films and shows face to face through the book, and I am incredibly excited. So that is definitely happening, and that is definitely piquing my interest. Okay guys, so that has been what I've been reading so far. I know that 1 or 2 series might have slipped in that were not in the original plans, but I am so excited to read all of these books. A reading slump is definitely far behind me. There are so many books that I want to get my hands on, and I just cannot wait. So far, the ones that I've started, I have enjoyed, and I am enjoying so much. Oh, one last thing, another update. I finished Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor, and let me just say, we were done dirty. We were done real dirty. The book shattered me. It tore me in pieces. I was not ready for what ensued, but I need to get to Muse of Nightmares, which is the sequel, so I can see whether I am going to sink deeper into this feeling that I have, or if I'm going to be rescued and happy. So I will let you guys know by the end of the month. That is all I have to share for now. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, evening, or whenever you watch this. If you like my videos, you can feel free to subscribe to my channel, and hopefully I will see you guys in the next video. Mwah. Bye!